The animal that shouldn't exist. There is an animal on this planet that, by all the laws of science, should not exist. It isn't a terrifying monster from the deep sea. It isn't some ancient creature from the time of the dinosaurs. In fact, it's tiny, green, and looks like a cartoon character. But this animal breaks one of the most fundamental rules of life on Earth. That rule is simple. Animals do not run on sunlight. Plants do that. Trees do that. Algae does that. But animals? We have to eat. We have to find fuel, chew it, and digest it. But this little creature, a sea slug nicknamed the leaf sheep, found a loophole in the system. It has figured out how to behave like a plant. It is soft, with a tiny face that resembles a sheep, and it emits a gentle green light. But beneath that cute exterior is a biological thief that has hacked the very code of life. Today, we're looking at Costaciella kurashime. We're going to find out how a slug survives without eating, how it steals solar panels from its prey, and how it can literally cut off its own head and grow a new body using nothing but sunshine. The animal that steals sunlight. At first glance, the leaf sheep looks like a tiny, leaf-covered toy. It's barely the size of a grain of rice. But when scientists began studying this group of sea slugs, they realized something deeply unsettling. These slugs don't just eat algae, they steal from it. When you eat a salad, your body breaks down the lettuce into tiny bits of energy and waste. End of story. But when the leaf sheep eats, it does something much more advanced. It uses a specialized needle-like mouth to pierce the algae and suck out the insides like a juice box. But it doesn't digest everything. It selectively saves the chloroplasts. If you remember middle school biology, chloroplasts are the tiny engines inside plant cells that perform photosynthesis. They take sunlight, water, and gas and turn them into sugar. The slug takes these stolen engines and installs them into its own skin. The scientific name for this is Kleptoplasty, which literally translates to stolen plastids. But let's be honest, it's more like identity theft. The slug eats a plant and then becomes part plant. Why this should be impossible? Here's the reason scientists were so shocked. Chloroplasts are not supposed to work outside of a plant. Think of a chloroplast like a high-tech solar panel. In a plant, that solar panel is connected to a massive power station, the plant's DNA, that sends out repair crews and instructions every few minutes to keep it running. If you rip that solar panel out and stick it on a rock, it should stop working almost immediately. But when this slug steals these solar panels, they don't die. In some species, the stolen chloroplasts stay active for months. There are cases of these slugs living for 9 months without eating a single bite of food. They just sit in the light, breathe in carbon dioxide, and let their stolen plant parts feed them. For most of a year, this animal stops being a consumer and starts being a producer. It is a living, breathing leaf with a face. Is it really solar-powered? Scientists are naturally skeptical, so they had to prove the slugs were actually using the light. They set up a simple test with 3 groups of slugs. Slugs with plenty of food and light, slugs with light but no food, and slugs with no food and no light. The results were incredible. The slugs with no food and no light died quickly, but the slugs with no food and plenty of light lived significantly longer. The light wasn't just nice for them, it was their fuel. They were literally drinking the sun. This is the only animal in the world that can look at a drought or a food shortage and say, "That's fine, I'll just sit here and glow until things get better." Driving without a manual. There is a major danger to running on sunlight. Solar power is volatile. If a plant gets too much sun, it produces reactive oxygen, basically toxic bubbles that can shred DNA and destroy cells. Plants have built-in safety switches to handle this, but remember, the slug didn't steal the safety switches, it only stole the solar panels. So, how does the slug not explode from the inside out? It uses behavioral hacks. The slug has learned to manage a machine it doesn't fully understand. If the sun gets too hot, it moves to the shade. It has leaf-like flaps on its back that it can fold over itself like a natural umbrella to block the light. It can even cluster the chloroplasts deeper in its body to protect them. It's like borrowing a Ferrari engine, putting it in a golf cart, and figuring out how to drive it 100 miles per hour without ever reading the instruction manual. The ultimate horror movie trick. If the story ended there, this slug would already be the weirdest thing in the ocean, but it gets much, much stranger. In 2021, researchers caught a species of this slug doing something that sounds like a plot from a horror movie. It removed its own head. This isn't an accident. It's called autotomy, or self-amputation. You've probably seen a lizard drop its tail to distract a predator, but this slug doesn't just drop a tail, it drops everything. It detaches its head from its entire body, leaving behind its heart, its stomach, and all its major organs. The body stays behind and wiggles for a while before dying. Meanwhile, the head just crawls away. It is a tiny, living head wandering the seafloor. Living without a heart. How does a head stay alive without a heart or a stomach? This is where the stolen sunlight comes back into play. When the slug loses its body, it loses its ability to eat and digest food. Normally, that's a death sentence. But because the head is packed with stolen chloroplasts, it switches to emergency solar mode. The head uses the energy from the sun to keep its cells alive while it performs a biological miracle. Over the next 17 to 20 days, the head regrows an entirely new body. It regrows a new heart, new lungs, and a new digestive system from scratch. Think about that. An animal is using plant technology to regrow its own animal organs. That is a sentence that should not make sense in biology, yet it happens every day in the shallow waters of the Pacific. Why would you do this? Why would an animal evolve the ability to decapitate itself? Scientists don't think it's to escape predators because the process takes a long time. Instead, they think it's the ultimate reset button. Slugs often get internal parasites, tiny worms that eat them from the inside out. Instead of trying to fight the infection, the slug simply deletes the infected hardware. It throws away its old, sick body and grows a clean version. It is biological troubleshooting at its most extreme. It's like getting a virus on your computer and deciding to throw the whole computer away and build a new one using just the monitor. Blurring the lines. For hundreds of years, we have put life into neat little boxes. Plants make energy from the sun, and animals eat things to get energy. The leaf sheep doesn't care about our boxes. It proves that nature is opportunistic. It doesn't care about the rules. It only cares about what works. This slug isn't a hybrid like a mythical creature, and it isn't symbiotic like coral. It is a thief that learned how to use its victim's tools better than the victim does. It found a loophole in evolution that allows it to bypass the need for food whenever it feels like it. The lesson of the leaf sheep. The leaf sheep is tiny, barely a centimeter long. Most divers swim right past them without ever knowing they're there. But inside that tiny, smiling green body, the most radical experiment on Earth is taking place. It reminds us that life is not rigid. It experiments, steals, and adapts. If a tiny slug can figure out how to run on sunlight and regrow its heart using plant powers, what else is out there that we haven't discovered yet? What other rules are being broken in the corners of the ocean we haven't explored? The leaf sheep is a tiny animal with a massive implication. Evolution doesn't care about our definitions. It only cares about survival. And sometimes, the best way to survive is to stop being an animal and start being a leaf.